All right, everybody. Hello. This is the class that we would have done on January 8th, and this is a recording for it. So please listen to the whole thing and do the homework assignment afterwards. So we have the entire class here. Say hello. Sat Sri Akal below. Shabash. Good. Very good. Tu bhi bula Sat Sri Akal. Sat Sri Akal. Good job. Okay. Now share my screen, show you the notes, and we'll go through, you know, all the stuff as usual. Okay, so I will type on this document just like I would write in the boarding class. So these will be the notes over here. Okay, so in the past few classes, past couple months, we've discussed the introduction of Europeans into the Sikh army, and also mainly before that, the expansion of the Sikh Empire into a lot of the major cities, up north into Kashmir and Jammu, some of the southern cities like Multan. And we also talked about how they took over the Khyber Pass and closed that off to the outsiders, which is really big accomplishment. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk more about the relations between Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the British again. So since the signing of the Sutlej Treaty, which again was in 1809, there hasn't been much going on between the British and Ranjit Singh. So for about a 20-year period, maybe 15, there hasn't been much going on between them because things were settled after that treaty. But now we're going to see something start to come up again. So before we do, let's remember what the Sutlej Treaty was all about and some of its effects. So recall, so this is all information we had from before, probably from around, I don't know, a couple months ago. So the Sutlej Treaty made, of course, the Sutlej River the southern boundary of Punjab or Ranjit Singh's territory. And it also had a clause of mutual friendship with the British. There was more terms to the treaty, but these were really the main ones in it. So the mutual friendship and the Sutlej being as the southern boundary. And remember, there were some good and bad parts to this treaty from the perspective of Ranjit Singh. There were some things that helped him out. There were certain things that were not so great consequences of the treaty. So let's remember what those were. The good ones were. And you guys remember? The Uchi bol. Yeah, very good. Okay, so one of the good things was that I'll write it first, and I'll explain. So, of course, if the Sutlej is the boundary, Ranjit Singh can't go below, but also the British cannot come up and interfere in the north. So this allowed Ranjit Singh to actually focus on his conquest in the north, and this really allowed him to actually. This is really the reason he was even able to take over areas like Jammu, Kashmir, and even in the west, closing off Peshawar and the Khyber Pass to the Afghans, because the British cannot come up north and really interfere with anything anymore. So this was one of the great consequences of the treaty. But on the flip side, as we know, Ranjit Singh gave up a lot of land in the south to be able to do this. And as a result of that, he gave the British a little bit too much power, a little bit too much leeway that he really didn't need to, which he was criticized for at the time. But this was one of the negative things about the treaty. And both of these are going to come up later. So it's very important that you remember these. These are some of the most important things that need to know really by the Sutlej Treaty, some of the effects of it. All right, so that was all old information. So now we're getting to some of the new stuff. So we know that the ultimate goal for the British at this time is the conquest of all of India. So That's their ultimate goal. They have control of pretty much all of southern India at this point. They've taken over all of the areas of the Hindustan, which is really just southern India, a very high Hindu population. That's what it's usually referred to as. They have a very strong hold in the east, which they had for a long time. So there's only two areas left actually in India that the British have not taken over. One, the obvious one, is Ranjit Singh's empire, all the land of his Punjab, up north from Sutlej River all the way up to the Himalaya mountains and on the border of Afghanistan. They don't have control of any of those territories. And also what we are going to be talking about today, the area of Sindh, the Sindh Valley, which is located in southwest. It's located southwest of Punjab. We'll talk more about it today. So, but first, before we, so this is important to know, these are the only areas left out of the British control at this time in the 1820s, early 30s that we're going to be discussing today. So, since we know there hasn't been much going on between the British and Ranjit Singh, the British have been working on consolidating their power in the South, really kind of getting a stronghold there, getting their economy going, all that stuff, their military, making sure they have a stronghold and that they don't lose it. But as we know, they want to be expanding the sphere of influence all throughout India. So there hasn't been much going on, but we are going to be seeing a shifting in British policy and their approach to how to take to things in India. So that's the first thing we're going to discuss today. I'll underline it because it's important. So in your notes, you can put this as a heading. Shift in British approach / policy. So we're going to see a change in their behavior, change in their approach going forward from here. So we know that they want to, conquer all of India. And at this time, there's kind of a debate going on within the British officials, very similar to the debate that we saw going on a while back between the expansionists and the moderates. As the name implies, expansionists are for just aggressively expanding everywhere. Moderates want to take a little more conservative approach, but nonetheless, they do have the same goal at the end of the day. So, don't want to underline that. So there is right now a debate really between two major guys in the, within the British like officials or whatever. So these two guys that are kind of debating their viewpoints. They're kind of the leaders of whoever wants to adopt these policies. So this is kind of the debate going on within the British of how to approach taking over all of India. So these two guys are Alexander Burnes and Claude Wade. So these are the two guys I'm going to be talking about today. So as of right now, in India, of course we know the Afghans are still kind of doing their thing up in the northwest. And we know the British have always been afraid of other European powers or other countries in the world wanting also to cash in on the economic value of India. As we know previously with the signing of the Sutlej Treaty, they were afraid of the French coming in. But at this time, they are afraid of other European powers coming in. It's not a big detail, but they are afraid of the Russians wanting to come into India and establish some colony there. So whether that's a real threat or not, we don't know. Of course, they're probably going to exaggerate it to kind of get their way. But right now, Burnes supports an alliance with the Afghans in exchange for so pretty much the deal would be that the British would ally with the Afghans. They would help the Afghans regain control of the Khyber Pass and the city of Peshawar right next to it, in exchange for the Afghans providing them military aid in the event that Russia does want to invade India. So So this doesn't actually happen. I'm just kind of saying what Burns actually going to support. This is what his idea is, and the people that support him. This is what his idea is. Um, so again, like I said, deal is to give Peshawar back to the Afghans in exchange for kind of an alliance friendship over there. Um, so Claude Wade, he on the complete opposite, he opposes this. Um, all right, then explain. So Claude Wade is going to take the more conservative approach. He is not in favor of making an alliance with the Afghans. He feels that the Afghans are not to be trusted at all. And in the interest of the British goals to actually take over Punjab, really, um, he believes that a temporary, friendship with Ranjit Singh is more valuable, like they kind of already have that mutual friendship, like under the Sutlej Treaty. He believes that this is more valuable because if you make an ally with the Afghans, try to help them give back Peshawar, one, you're violating the Sutlej Treaty. And in addition to that, you're like directly making an enemy out of Ranjit Singh, which they've kind of worked about 20 years to maintain that. So really, Burns' views are really not that great. But keep in mind, he is an expansionist, so makes sense he's going to think that. But um, so over here, what we're going to see, the British are going to adopt Wade's policy. So So Wade's viewpoint prevails. So really, the British ultimately decide that they're going to decline any alliance with the Afghans and preserve whatever relations they have with Ranjit Singh, really because they realize that that this temporary friendship that they have with Ranjit Singh is much more valuable in the long run for them in taking over Punjab after that. So Wade's viewpoint prevails. This is going to be their policy going forward. So this represents, or this so all the British actions going forward are going to be in the interest of taking over Punjab, and they're going to be done really around this kind of policy to maintain that kind of friendship with Ranjit Singh, but also take that little bit of a conservative approach, use their negotiation skills as they have been for a long time, and not really get too aggressive as just kind of going straight into like war, essentially. They decided this is the better way to go forward. And we know ultimately it becomes successful, way long down the road. So, but we now have a question over here. Um, we know that the Socialist Treaty helped Ranjit Singh expand up north, so we know kind of how it resulted for them. But what about for the British? Um, so how do the British feel about the results of the Socialist Treaty? We know how Ranjit Singh has kind of felt about it, how they've capitalized on it. Really, they were able to expand their empire so greatly, really, because of it. Um, and according to Wade, actually, to paraphrase his own words, he says that Ranjit Singh has benefited. Uh, so Ranjit Singh has benefited greatly from the Socialist Treaty. Uh, as we know, again, to restate, he has so much more opportunity to expand up in the north. Um, so the British are like, hey, man, we wanted to sign this treaty to get more for us. While we did get some land in the south and kind of consolidating our territory, Ranjit Singh is out there, how has expanded more than us in the past 15 years. So now it is time for us to prescribe limits to his power. So eventually they think enough is enough. We think he's getting too powerful. This is going to become much more harder for us to kind of conquer. So it's now time for us to start prescribing limits to his power. So they're going to do this using this policy that we talked about up there. Okay, so good place to pause for a little bit before we move on. Any questions? Questions? Good. All right. Taking notes? You taking good notes? Good. Okay. All righty. So now a new heading for your notes. All right. Okay. So straining Anglo-Sikh relations over the area of Sindh. So Anglo just means British or English. Anytime you see that, that's what it means. So the relations between the British and Ranjit Singh are going to start to get a little strained, going to get a little bit tense over the area of Sindh, which they're both going to want to control. We'll talk about why. So let me actually do this. Give me a second. Just trying to pull up a picture. I had one here. I don't know where it went. Okay. All right. I think this is a good enough photo. So got this from Google Image. It's not the best photo, but so Punjab is located right around here. Just talking about at the time. You can see this is Sutlej River. This is the boundary for Ranjit Singh. So all of his territory is kind of up north of that, going all the way up to Afghanistan. And this is the Indus River, and which goes off to the Arabian Sea over here. As you guys know, like how India is with the I'll put up another one. Hold on. Should have done this before. Okay. So the Arabian Sea, the big body of water next to India. So the Indus River, the Sindh Valley is actually located right there. So this region right here, that is modern day Pakistan, but you guys know it's part of Punjab at the time. So this area right here that I'm kind of circling is really where the area of Sindh is located, southwest of Punjab. So where's my notes? Area of Sindh, and the Indus Valley is located southwest of Punjab, and it's a really important place geographically. Is a because it borders the Arabian Sea. This is extremely important. Any like region that's close to a big body of water can be extremely important. Like if you think about it, every major city in the world, or nearly everyone, is built on a big body of water. So you have access to either some kind of major river or an ocean or a major sea. In this case, you have access to the Arabian Sea. The Indus River runs right through it actually. So this whole area, so Sindh is really this area right here. The Indus River goes like right through it, and then goes to the Arabian Sea. So it is like probably the best economical like area to own over here, like right here. So you have, let's say, Ranjit Singh's territory right about over there, and this area of Sindh in the south west over there, um, which is actually controlled by the locals, which I'll mention in a second. So this is the area that's desired by Ranjit Singh and also the British. But you see why it's so important geographically. The Indus River runs right through it, and you have the Arabian Sea bordering to it, which we know is important for so many things like irrigation, traveling, commerce, economy. There's everything. Water is like the most valuable resource you can get. So Indus River runs right through it. So yeah, at this time, Sindh is controlled by the local amirs, which is kind of Amir is someone who kind of it's just like a not really much of a king, I'd say, but it's more just like very rich, wealthy, powerful people who own things. So it's really just think of it as controlled by the locals, people who are native to there. So it's not under British or um control over by Ranjit Singh, but they both want to. So the British and Ranjit Singh both want control of Sindh. They really want control of it. At face value, of course, you can see why. It's extremely important geographically. It borders a major body of water, has a huge river going right through it, and it would, greatly add to the economy of both sides. But there are more particular reasons why each one would want it. So this is important. Ranjit Singh wants Sindh because entitled. So I'll write it and explain. So Ranjit Singh wants control of Sindh for the obvious reasons also to really expand, the revenue, the economy, the commerce. Because right now, the 1820s, as we know, Ranjit Singh is going all over India, really in the north, expanding a lot. So this is the same time that he's really trying to get a hold of Jammu, Kashmir, Multan, Peshawar, all that stuff. So he's expanding greatly, and Sindh is one of the places also on his radar at the time for some of the obvious reasons of the economical advantage that it would bring, the geographical advantage. You have major rivers, major bodies of water, all that stuff, and he also kind of feels entitled to it, meaning that he feels he should have it because he's conquered a lot of nearby lands. He's kind of tried to make claims to it. The people of there, so he feels like that it rightfully should be his for all the reasons, but uh the British also want Sindh. I mean, of course, for the economical purposes, but there's a bigger reason that they want it. They want it really for like a strategic military purpose, because we know their goal is ultimately to take over Punjab, and Sindh is extremely important because the Indus River, as you guys know, it kind of breaks out into all the major rivers of Punjab. See that it breaks up right here, and all the major rivers go to it. So having access to the Indus River, and then by default, most of the rivers of Punjab, and then of course the Arabian Sea gives you a big military advantage because a lot of militaries are going to be traveling through the rivers. It's very fast, efficient way to travel. You own all the shipping lanes. You can transport resources, people, all that stuff. So they want this area really for the military purposes for their ultimate goal. This is the biggest reason that they want it. So they feel that it's necessary to prescribe limits to Ranjit Singh's power. So this is they feel that it's necessary for like strategic purposes for their military. So And at this point, we're gonna see so the game of who can really outdo the other, who can like outmaneuver the other side is going to begin, because Ranjit Singh and the British are both expressing interest in this area of Sindh, the Indus Valley. So they're all really going to try to, make a move against it, because as we know, it's controlled by the locals. So it's not like they're trying to take it from each other. It's, who wants to kind of, claim it, and then also really actually gain control of it. Because, if one side just kind of walks in and takes it over, it's a big red flag to either side, because neither one really controls it. It's not really, it wasn't outlined in the Sutlej Treaty, none of it. So it's really kind of an area that's, untapped potential at this time, which both sides want to take advantage of. And, there are the reasons why. So, all right, let me see if that was okay. Yeah, that is all I wanted to cover. So I know you just trying to take a look at exactly what I wanted to cover, because I am going to break this video up into 2 parts. So, because I just don't want to put too much at once. It's better for you to learn when you have 2 pieces kind of separate. So yeah, just to kind of recap everything that we did today, we're going to see, more interaction between Ranjit Singh and the British happening right around like 15 years or so after the signing of the Sutlej Treaty, where there wasn't much going on. The British were consolidating power in the south. The Ranjit Singh's empire was busy expanding their empire really up north. The British realized, like, hey, he's gaining a lot of power. We have to kind of make a shift in our policy. And that shift in the policy was to really, maintain that kind of friendship with Ranjit Singh, but then also to start to make moves in trying to really, make preparations in a sense for eventually taking over Punjab. And one of these preparations for them is really going to be trying to take over the area of Sindh and the Indus Valley, because it's important geographically, really for one, yes, economy, but also really for your strategic importances for your military. Having control of bodies of water is huge for militaries. So they really want to control it for that. So that's why the area of Sindh is so important. For the British, they see it with a lot of military potential. So they're going to really try to make, this area be a part of their land. So in the next part of this video, we will be discussing exactly how the British, and then also Ranjit Singh, how they go forward with this, and what's actually going to happen in this area, and why the relations are going to be straining. I know we didn't get to that part today, but of how things are going to get tense. So this is just setting up where the area of Sindh is, why it's important, why both sides want control of it. So that is going to be it for part 1. Are there any questions? No? Okay, so there will be questions sent out for this. Use these notes, use the video. Any questions, just reach out to me. Even though I'm not going to be in class for 2 weeks, I'm still available over text message. So any questions, let me know. Send the homework to me as usual. So yeah, I will post this recording. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.